So next year we are finally going to get The Batman with Robert Pattinson, directed by Matt Reeves, and I'm beyond excited for it. And not only that, but we know it's going to be a trilogy, and there's a bunch of villains I think they should definitely include in it, and I'm going to break them down in this video. So before I get into the video, guys, if you enjoy this kind of content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I do a lot of comic book content, like comic book movies, lists, comic book recommendations, reviews, all that kind of stuff. So if you're into that, be sure to smash that subscribe button. So one villain I would love to see in this trilogy would be Black Mask. Roman Sionis is basically a crime lord. He's had a bad backstory of his family, and he's like ruthless and he's sick in the head. He loves to torture people, and I just feel like it'd be such a brutal villain for him to include in this trilogy. He does have a really interesting backstory with his family, which does tie into the Waynes as well, so I think it'd be pretty interesting to see. You know, the fact that like his family were ashamed of him growing up, and he kind of hated like the masks that they wore in society. It would just be pretty cool, and I feel like it'd be an awesome backstory for him, and I just think he would be such a great villain to show on screen. In the DCU EU, they've already cast him with Ewan McGregor, but I feel like if they were to have him in the Batman universe, it'd probably be a different actor, but I do like him in a role, but it would be interesting to see a different actor in it as well. Next on the list is Two-Face, Harvey Dent. I think Harvey Dent would work very well in this universe. I mean, I know we got him in the Dark Knight trilogy as well, but we barely got that much of him. And I feel like it'd be a really interesting villain to see, especially with his like split personality. It'd be pretty good. It'd be kind of like it would make a more detective-based Batman story as well, as opposed to him just like fighting. Because obviously we know Harvey Dent isn't a big fighter. And watching Batman maybe try and take him down, maybe it's like a tragic story, like Harvey Dent is in it, you witness him become Two-Face, it's got to be a tragic story. And if they give him some backstory with Bruce Wayne as well, it'd be really interesting to see, and it'd be like this tragic story of his friend going bad. I think it would be awesome, and I just think he would fit so well in this trilogy. Especially as well, if this takes like any inspiration from the Long Halloween, then introducing Harvey Dent at the end of it would be the perfect scenario. Next up on my list is actually a villain I don't know too much about, but I've read him in the Batman and Robin graphic novel by Grant Morrison, and I've seen him in the Arkham Knight game, and that villain is Professor Pig. Don't let the name fool you, but he sounds goofy, but he's actually quite a terrifying villain, and the fact as well that he just kind of cuts people up, it transitions them into like dolls that he controls. It is so creepy, and just the way he acts and moves is just, he's terrifying. And I personally think it'd be great in this trilogy. If they definitely go for a darker take on Batman as well, he would fit so well. I think if you were to have him in a movie, but it definitely have to push like a 15 rating. But personally, I would love to see that. And I just think it would kind of maybe like add a cool horror aspect to the Batman trilogy as well. Another villain I'd love to see in this trilogy would be ManBat. I don't think he'd be like a main villain in the movie, but see, even just like a villain at the start would be pretty cool. And maybe he's tied to a bigger bad in the film, but it'd be a pretty awesome idea. And while it is a bit more on the supernatural side, I do think he can fit in it depending on how they go about it. And kind of watching Batman fight this like ManBat would be awesome and have a lot of cool action sequences as well, and it maybe kind of have like a kind of mirror reflection kind of thing of Batman. I don't know, but personally I'd love to see it. I don't know too much about the villain himself, I just kind of know what I've read in the Justice League Dark comics, but I would actually kind of love to see it, and it could even lead into a Justice League Dark movie as well if they would ever go that route. Next up on the list is Mr. Freeze. Well, Mr. Freeze in the comics and animated shows and stuff, he's been done in a few different ways, and in the Batman animated series we see he's a tragic villain. All he wants to do is to save his wife Nora from death, so he's frozen her and he just wants to find that cure, and he gets in an accident that kind of causes him to have to live in this like freeze suit, I'm going to call it. But he's a pretty good villain. But another thing as well, like, if you've read the New 52 comics, they've actually taken a different route with the character in that, which I think could actually work in the new trilogy. In the New 52, Mr. Freeze actually, with Nora, it's just a patient he's tried to cure, but he gets this like, emotional attachment to her, even though she can't talk back to him at all because she's frozen and she's got this illness and he's trying to cure her. I think it'd be a pretty cool twist in the film as well if we were ever see it, and it'd be like this kind of thing where the entire movie you kind of maybe feel bad for him because you don't think he's just trying to save his wife. For this review at the end, just to find out he's like psychotic and crazy, is something I would love to see, and it's just Mr. Freeze would be an awesome villain, and I'd actually pick like Patrick Stewart to play him. Next villain on the list is one I actually wasn't going to put on the list, but you know what, I do actually want to see him in this new trilogy, and that villain is the iconic Joker. Now, we've had multiple versions of Joker throughout the past few years, Jared Leto, Joaquin Phoenix, Heath Ledger, but I would actually love to see Matt Reeves' take on a version of the Joker. Whether they would go the whole chemical route where he falls into the vat of chemicals, or like kind of Dark Knight, Joaquin Phoenix route is a bit more grounded, I would love to kind of see his take on it, and it'd just be like a cool idea as well to see a new actor in the role, maybe like a much younger actor as well, who we can kind of grow with the trilogy, because we know Batman and Joker go at it non-stop. But I wouldn't want to see him in like the first or second movie, maybe wait to the third movie to see him, and I think if we maybe like kind of have his origin at the end of the second movie and then he's the main villain in the third one, I think it'd be such a cool idea, and obviously like, they're going to include Joker at some point, but I'm just kind of interested to see how they go about it and how it fits into this universe. So the next villain on our list is probably a long shot and it's very unlikely to happen, but I would actually love to see the Batman Who Laughs. So I read the Batman Who Laughs graphic novel a while back, and the entire time I was just pure creeped out by this version of like Batman / Joker. For those of you that don't know, the Batman Who Laughs is Bruce Wayne Batman from another universe where he actually just snaps and kills Joker, and when he kills Joker, this like toxins like released from Joker's suit, and it turns this version of Batman into the Joker, and he goes crazier and crazier as it goes on, which eventually leads us to like this Batman crossed with the Joker, and then he kind of travels the multiverse killing different versions of Batman. And not just like versions of Batman, just versions of Bruce Wayne in general, and even if I'm not a Batman, he'll still kill them just for the fun of it. Like I said, it would be a long shot, but it is something I'd kind of like to see, and now because like the DC especially going for the whole multiverse, you know, it's going to be set in Earth 2. Like imagine they kind of done this, and we know we're going to get Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck back as well. In a few years you get the Batman Who Laughs, and you kind of see like Robert Pattinson, Michael Keaton and like Bruce Wayne, and Ben Affleck try to take him down. It's a kind of wild concept, but it's something I'd actually maybe like to see in a trilogy. Maybe not even a trilogy, maybe if they want to go past like a trilogy, do like a fourth movie with the Batman Who Laughs, I would be completely up for it. And depending how this universe is, like how kind of toned down realistic it is, I just think it'd be awesome to see. But like I said, I do think it would be a long shot. So next on the list is actually a villain I think was kind of done dirty in the Nolan trilogy, even though I did love that version of the character, and that character is Scarecrow. Because I feel like if they go with Scarecrow, they can really make the movie a psychological horror. Just have like Scarecrow using his gas and Batman, and you'd have all these sequences with Batman really having to face his fears, and it'd be a good character movie for Batman as well. You'd see what really scares him. You see, like, obviously we're going to get like the death of his parents, but see how that really affects him and how responsible he feels for it, and whether or not it's actually worth being Batman or not. I feel like if they have Scarecrow, give a full movie to Scarecrow and just dedicate him to like tormenting Batman, making Batman terrified, it'd be something unique to see. And then at the end of the movie, Batman obviously he would overcome it. But I just think it would be awesome because Scarecrow has had a lot of great stories, and I just don't think they've utilised them much in the movies at all. And when I say like Scarecrow, I don't just mean like just a guy with like a bag in his head and he's using the gas. I want to say like Scarecrow when he uses the gas and he seems like this big monster kind of thing. Like have like sequences from the Arkham Asylum game and stuff. It'd be completely awesome, and I would just I think like they could go a lot of different routes if they chose Scarecrow as a main villain for a movie, because like I said, I do think he was wasted in Batman Begins, and I would just love to see a full movie dedicated to this villain. But the final villain I would love to see in the Batman trilogy is actually, well, it's like a group of villains, and it's the Court of Elves. For those of you that don't know, the Court of Elves were introduced in 2011 by Scott Snyder, and basically the underground, they run Gotham, and it's full of the rich, and they have this thing called they have these things called talons, where it's like dead people from years and years ago who they freeze to basically assassinate anyone who they think can get in their way. They target people, they target the rich of Gotham who doesn't want to work with them, which obviously means if they try and recruit Bruce Wayne, they send a talent after Bruce Wayne, not knowing that Bruce Wayne is Batman. It'd be a villain for both Bruce Wayne and Batman to face, and it's something I would love to see. You could have a lot of great sequences in the movie if you use the Court of Owls, because in the comics there's like really good sequence where Batman's being drugged and he's realising how much of Gotham we just not realise, how it's connected to his parents' death and stuff. It's just something I would love to see, and there's a lot of rumours that they're going to appear in the new movie, but it's personally just something I would really love to see live action, and I feel like they could do so well, especially with Matt Reeves at the helm of it. Like the crazy thing is about the Court of Owls as well, it doesn't just affect Bruce Wayne Batman, it affects like Alfred's ancestors as well, because they've worked with the Wayne's entire life as well. So it'd be like a good thing for like Bruce Wayne and Alfred to try and take on together, which is where Andy Serkis as Alfred as well would work so well. Maybe seeing him take on a few talons, but obviously get his ass kicked. But it's something I would really love to see, and just I feel like it would work perfectly. So thanks a lot for watching the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, and also for more content like this, be sure to smash that subscribe button and let me know in the comments what villains you would love to see in the new Batman trilogy. And if you haven't yet already, be sure to check out my other videos. And also I have an Instagram page where I do like some written reviews, and I upload some like I just create like combat related content on it. So I'll leave the link to that in the description as well. And also be sure to check out my other videos if you haven't yet already. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I hope to see you in the next video.